If you want to feel more connected to humanity and a little less alone, listen to Beautiful Anonymous. Each week, I take a phone call from one random anonymous human being. There's over 400 episodes in our back catalog. You get to feel connected to all these different people all over the world. Recent episodes include one where a lady survived a murder attempt by her own son. But then the week before that, we just talked about Star Trek. It can be anything. It's unpredictable. It's raw. It's real. Get Beautiful Anonymous wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, welcome back to the Gilmore Geeks. My name is Aaron.
My name is Vicki.
I'm Silvana.
And we are back with episode 3 titled Kill Me Now. We'll get to the episode details after we do our intro question of the week. And I'm thinking we're probably going to do some. We were literally off before recording, as they say in the professional podcast world, off mic. In our off mic discussions, we were trying to figure out like a prompt to go with. And I think what we should do is we probably should for future episodes, we'll pick something within the episode that's contentious or is like a point of conflict, and we'll just use that as our opening question or question of the day. So then we can all give our opinions on what we think. So the question that we've decided on, that we've narrowed it down to, is soup or salad. And that's a very contentious argument. It's a part of this episode. It's a wild episode. I like this one.
Me too.
We're going to hit an episode at some point that we don't like, or someone doesn't like. So I'm looking forward to that, because there's no way that all of that, because even again, using the those who've come before us, the Gilmore guys, there are episodes that they just were like, what is this? This is a filler episode. I don't like it. So when we get there, it'll be very interesting to see how we all fall. But this one's pretty good. So super salad, I guess I'll start with Vicki. What do you think, soup or salad?
Typically, unless it's like really hot outside, give me soup.
Yeah.
Give me a good hearty soup. Plus, I'm not a big vegetable girl, but if it's within the soup,
right,
I will totally eat it and enjoy it.
Right. All right. Silvana, what do you think about the soup or salad debate?
Salad. I love my rabbit food.
Yeah. I'm very particular about my soup. I will do loaded baked potato, chicken tortilla, clam chowder. That's kind of my rotation of soups that I enjoy.
You like broccoli cheese, right?
I do, but when I'm going out to eat, like broccoli cheese is kind of just like, okay, that's great. It doesn't take much. You got to do broccoli and you got the cheese. That's not much of a work. There's not a lot of work involved in creating broccoli and cheese soup. There's not a lot of effort. It's the what is the statement? We have broccoli and cheese at home. Like we can do broccoli and cheese at home. It's not that hard. Give me a slab of Velveeta, some broccoli. We'll pull it together and it's gonna be fine. So when I go out to if I'm going out to a restaurant or I'm going out to eat somewhere, I will kind of be like, okay, what's your soup? What's on the specials? Is there something different? Because I don't know. Soup is a fun. I don't know. I just like it. I didn't used to be a salad guy, but sometimes I'm trying to be more healthier, and so I might. But here's the thing: if I'm going out, it has to be some fun salad. Like it has to be really cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's different.
There's the HelloFresh recipe I've done a couple times. That this is a salad I actually like, and I think Aaron, you do too. It's a cheeseburger salad.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's the thing is like you don't have to have all straight greens. You can have, there can be some protein in there. It doesn't have to be, too much.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there we go.
But there was a soup that we had in South Carolina. I introduced you to she crab soup.
Yes.
And you became a fan, which was great for me.
I wouldn't recommend having she crab soup in a landlocked state because it's not fresh.
No, have it near the coast. For sure.
It's not a good idea.
But I was excited for you. I was like, I want to see, because that's my favorite soup of all time.
Yeah, it was good. It worked out well. All right, well, we've settled the debate of the soup versus salad debate here on the podcast. I'm sure our listeners, the 5 or 6 of them that exist out there in the world.
And honestly, they're good together, too.
Yeah.
Oh no, Aaron disagrees.
No, you gotta go one. You gotta pick one. You can't. This is one of the very few times where I'm not about to compromise. I'm like, no, it's super salad. Stick with it.
Like that Panera bread, you could do a combo.
Yeah, but that's Panera bread. Like,
I love Panera bread.
Vicki, you're muddling the water.
Yeah, you're trying to dilute the argument. It's not.
To be honest, I do prefer soup in a sandwich. I'm just trying.
Oh yeah, when you can, even if you can dip it in there or whatever.
Grilled cheese
fair.
and
You got me
bisque.
there.
Yeah.
Well, and well-made tomato bisque, like not the
Yes.
Canned soup.
Yeah, you can tell if it's freshly made or if they've been doing they've done their homework on their tomato soup. And on that delightful bombshell, we'll be right back after this. We're going to get into episode 3, Kill Me Now, from season 1 of Gilmore Girls here on the Gilmore Geeks. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this. right. Well, there we go. There's our delightfully Gilmore Girls themed intro. Welcome back to Gilmore Geeks. My name is Aaron.
My name's Vicki.
Silvana. I'm
And-
just gonna do that every time.
You should.
it's going to be
We're gonna trademark
it'll
it.
be well, I don't know. We don't have the money to trademark it, but
Okay.
we'll certainly say we were the ones that started that piece of the future cultural zeitgeist. People saying their names
Yes.
musically, even though that's really not going to work. We aren't the first ones to do it, but we're going to take it. All right, so here we are in episode 3 of the Gilmore Girls, and there is a lot that happens in this episode. There's the repeat theme of Lorelai and Rory coming to loggerheads again. It's kind of a similar structure to that first episode with a pilot where she finds out it's all about a boy and her and Rory go rounds. And, oh no, is it 101 or is it 102? Is it 102? The girls go to Chilton where she has the conflict with the boy or whatever.
That is not this episode.
Okay. Well, no, it's episode 2 where.
There's Tristan.
Oh, where they call her Mary?
No. So it's episode 101 where she goes. Okay, cool. So episode 101 is where one of the episodes where Lorelai and Rory are mad at each other because she's going to give up the Chilton
Yeah,
dream.
it's the
'cause
pilot.
Yeah.
So
The pilot.
yeah, the pilot. So there's a similar structure with this episode where we pit the daughter and the mom again against each other, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. But it just having been through it already once with episode 101 and having a little bit of a break with episode 102, and I think especially because it's 2025 and we're all grown adults now, we look at Lorelai and we just kind of go, "Could you please? You do understand what's going on?" And she does eventually, but we'll get to it. Okay, the opening dinner discussion. The maid confusion is fantastic.
But the one's a man.
Yeah,
And the other's a woman.
And Lorelai just stays in it, and Richard and Emily are like, whatever, is not a big deal, because here's the story. Obviously, will become later in the episodes. They go through maids like water. It is. They fire them, they hire them, which begets the question as we step
Who's
out of
actually the problem?
well, we step out of the made-up suspension of disbelief world that we live in, and we take a step out into reality. There's no way there is that much of a deep maid employee pool in the city of Hartford. There's not possible.
no.
There's not enough people, enough maids. So either they're importing them from other states,
Oh my gosh.
or they're like
Questionable.
Like a mail order maid.
Right, or there's a maid supplying company, temp company that is in business and is successful because Emily and Richard Gilmore fire their maids every 2 weeks, and so there's probably a temp agency in Hartford. It's just like, we're the Gilmore Maid Agency. This is all we do. No one else hires us because no one else needs maids like these people do. They're just like raking in the money, like, yeah, woo, putting the
Honestly, throw one in a wig too, and just start rotating them out. They would never notice.
More than likely, yeah. Emily Gilmore would be like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, okay, well, get to work." And then she'd be like, "Oh, I don't like you. Get out." That would be a fun running joke. I don't think it happens in the series, if I remember correctly. They don't actually.
It doesn't.
They go that far, but it would
But
be.
it would be funny.
It'd be hilarious. So we find out that Mira is actually Sarah.
I was embarrassed for Lorelai.
Oh my gosh, Lorelai's just like, but hey,
You told me this was her name. This is not her name.
She's just trying to be nice.
right? And then they're like, "Oh, tell Mira to come back." And then Lorelai's like, "Oh, and tell Sarah too."
I've tried to do that with like new staff to like try to say hey and like get the name wrong, and they're very offended. And you're like, I'm so sorry.
Yep. Yeah, it happens. So it's just amazing. So again, I love these opens where we get some insight into these Friday night dinners, because the nice thing about it, so when it was sold in episode 1 about how, we're gonna do Friday night dinners, that's your payment for the Chilton thing. Any other show could have played it off of like, okay, well, there's going to be some disagreements, but they're going to be friends. They're going to be together. They're going to figure it out. This show, so far, episode 3 with the Friday night dinners,
Emily has her horns and tail.
oh my gosh,
No hiding it.
yeah.
None.
So Silvana, I guess we'll slide into Writer's Corner for Writer's Lane, because we're just moving down the road. We're not stopping for nothing. What is like? it's interesting how they write Emily, because you the first 2 episodes we're starting to like her a little bit, be like, oh yeah, I get you.
See where she's coming from.
I get you, because your daughter is an absolute kind of jerk sometimes, and she's her defense mechanism is to slash back at you. In this episode, though, it's Emily's the bad guy for a good portion of it. Like, why do you think they kind of, it's not that they pulled the rug out from under us, but they had Emily pivot from this kind of like, okay, we're starting to like her, and all of a sudden now it's like, nice try, you're not going to like her for a while. Why do you think they did that with her?
Honestly, I kind of thought of this episode as like the battle of the mothers, because you've got 3, almost 4 technically, moms being compared. So you've got Emily, you've got a very brief Lorelai the first, the extremely accomplished equestrian and distinguished patron of the art, and then you have Lorelai, and then you have the mom of the twins who are getting married. And they are all so contrary to each other, and it's just, so I think it was meant to like look at the different types of like mother-daughter relationship. That's why I feel like, because this makes it feel much more like competitive, like who's going to be right, Emily or Lorelai? And then when Emily is right, Lorelai's the upset one and kind of is rude to Rory and becomes a monster obsessed with bra sizes. And then you have the mom whose high point of having her daughters was birth.
That was the moment. That was it. That was the extent of it.
And while I don't have any personal experience with that, from the reviews and ratings I've seen, it's a 1 out of 10. So I can't imagine that it's been a good relationship. And then you even have the mom who is yelling at her daughter to sit still and be nice because she's in a nice dress.
Don't wrinkle it.
So I think it was meant to just be like a critical look at the different types of like mother-daughter relationships, and how even when you're trying to not be your mom, sometimes you kind of turn into her.
It's, I think because I made a note later on about, and I didn't connect to Emily, but I connected to the twins' mom and Lorelai especially, and how there's some comparisons going on here. But then at the end, the subtlety is gone in the end scene, where I think it's actually the girl's grandma. I don't think that's mom. And she's like, no, make sure your dress is straight and do this. And like, if there was any subtlety in the episode, it's gone by that moment, because the show is telling you this is about mom. Bam, bam. Do you get it? Bam, bam. It's about mom. Bam, 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 bam. It's hitting you over the head with the understanding of this is the story we're trying to tell. Did you get it? Because if you didn't, here it is. And I it's fine. It's just kind of, but I looked at that and I was like, okay, you could have just let it go, but no, you had to put that last scene in there. And so I think that's the part where I'm just like, I wanted you to I wanted the show to trust me, to know what I'm doing and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, and to do my own interpretations and to get there. That last moment was just like, okay, really?
But I think maybe Rory needed that scene.
Yeah, possibly. We'll get there. So we're going to try and stay on a linear. I'll try. We'll see how long that lasts. So then we've got after the credits, after the intro scene or whatever, the intro music, we've got. This is wild, because you'd understand Richard and Emily's relationship in pieces as this show goes on, and Silvana, you can kind of speak to this maybe. What we know so far, I mean, we'll see a lot more as time goes on, but what we see so far, this is not a good marriage, and they are not happy with each other.
Yeah, they're pretty contrary to each other. I think it's just like a relationship from another time, though. Like part of me thinks it's just like the time in which they're characters grew up, because like you said, like the farther you get into it, it is very obvious this is a very like loving marriage. But I mean, Emily wears the pants. She wears it. Richard is the brains and the money, but like Emily is the motor of that car, man. She is picking where it's driving and how fast.
And his mother, very accomplished woman, like a lot
was
like
the
Emily.
same way.
He marries someone like his mother.
Well, I think I'm just thinking about it now because in this episode we get the golf situation and we see Richard begin to open up to his granddaughter and actually take some pride in her and be willing to talk to her.
Find out he likes her.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Silvana, I think as this show goes on, this just literally belonged into my head, and there's people out there who are going to be like, yeah, that's pretty obvious. Why did you think of that before? But as this show goes on, Rory's influence on her grandparents, I think, is part of what we see in future episodes and seasons, in that Emily and Richard begin to kind of, because now they have Rory in their lives, Rory's influence on both of them in different ways, I think enriches their marriage, enriches and shows them how to love and how to be kind and how to be open. Because what we know of them before, I mean, the first 2 episodes, Richard Gilmore is just sitting on the couch.
Reading his newspaper, falling asleep.
And
it's like Emily's just like, you're going to be involved in your granddaughter's life.
Yeah.
And you're going to be nice to her.
Yeah, she has the line. She says, if you want to be happy, this is for you. This is for your happiness. She said, this is for as much for your happiness as it is for mine.
There's this line, an old coworker of Aaron said this with both of us in the room. He's like, happy wife, happy life.
And there's truth to that, but there's also this moment of like what you kind of referring to, Silvana, is that Emily Gilmore is running this house.
Yep.
Yes.
But you also notice that Richard tenses immediately when Emily mentions golf. You can actually see Edward Herman, rest in peace. He's obviously gone. But you watch him and he immediately gets tenses up at the mention of the golf because he knows what Emily's going to do. He is like, oh no, this is not what I want to do. And that's why Lorelai picks up on it and goes, hey, Mom, kitchen now. And then there's just a sassy pants back and forth. They just, she's like, don't do it. And then her mom asks her a question. And I want to actually open this up for Silvana and Vicki and see what you think.
Okay.
When she confronts Lorelai and she says, you're afraid. What do you think she means here?
You go first, Vicki.
That Lorelai's afraid, right?
Yeah, because the grandma, Emily Gilmore, says to Lorelai, you're afraid.
Lorelai never got to really be close with her parents. I don't think she's connected with them. And I think she could be afraid of a number of things. One, that she could maybe not be as close with her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And her daughter may be able to bond with her grandparents in a way that she never could.
Yeah. So on
both things hurt.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. I think it's like a little bit of like competition. She's afraid of being wrong, that Rory won't be the exact like cookie cutter, smaller version of herself, that she's actually might like it. And that was like not a possibility in Lorelai's head to the point where it like really throws her off. So I think you're going to be afraid she's going to like it more than you did. She will fit in with us more than you did.
Well, and I think, you're right, because we see later on in the episode, Lorelai gets jealous and loses it. But I think there is also that line, that idea, and I think Vicki mentioned it or something, but the idea that Rory might actually fully move over to the grandparents. Like, she might find that world really appetizing and really exciting, and she's going to fall in love with it and then just become an Emily Gilmore. And the episode doesn't really speak to that, but I think reading between the lines, probably Emily is asking, when you ask that question, you're afraid. I think, again, Emily Gilmore, for all her ostentatious, pretentious, whatever she is, she's incredibly insightful as a character. Yeah. She's able to look at something and go, I know what's going on here, or I think I know what's going on here. And in this moment, she wins over Lorelai, because Lorelai admits it at least in 2 or 3 lines as this conversation is happening. She's like, oh, I know where this is going. I'm getting myself in trouble. I can't get out. I'm going to lose. And in the end, she goes, well, there it is. There we go.
Yep.
And so, Rory's going to golf. What did you guys think about the "I'd rather" whole line as they exit the house?
That was great. It was great.
Here's the thing. And this is just a nitpick. I don't think. Wait, Rory is 16 or 15? No, she's 16.
15. 16.
Yeah,
She's 16.
Yeah, because we learned that in the first episode. So she probably has at 16. She probably has a driver's learner's permit, right?
Probably.
Okay, so that's
she's fine.
in my brain, I was like, oh no, she's 15. How is she able to drive? But she says to mom, "Do you want me? Are you able to handle yourself, or do I need to drive?" And she's just and Lorelai just keeps going. She goes, "Would you please?" And she hands the keys over, and so Rory drives them home. There's essential Gilmore like kind of world and life, and this first the scene before the credits and the scene after at the opening here is definitely pretty classical Gilmore situation. And then we get into what is possibly some of the wackiest. And again, we're only in episode 3, so the wackiness will continue to grow throughout the show. But we get the wedding at the Independence Inn, and so we've got 2 twins marrying
2 twins.
2 twins.
They're both identical.
Both identical.
Who will make genetically their kids will technically be siblings. So,
yes.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
remember reading that. There was an article that came out a couple years back where that actually happened in the real world. I mean, it happens, I guess, more than we care to like.
I mean, I have a friend whose sister is married to they're like the brother. They're not twins, but it's Michelle.
Yeah.
Who's our neighbor.
Yeah.
That happened with them.
Yeah.
I mean, my sisters are triplets, and they all went and married Virgo men. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing.
I don't know either. But in this, there was an article a couple years back that if 2 twins marry their respective whatever, then their children will technically and biologically, DNA wise, when you look at under the microscope, they're brother and sisters. And so it's just they're not going to be cousins. They're brother and sister because again, it's DNA is wild.
Can you imagine being a teacher in the school?
I
have several sets of
immediately.
twins, and I don't see them enough to be able to tell them apart when they're in the same room. But it's very hard for me.
I love my favorite character of the show forever and ever. Again, we reference the Gilmore guys because they're the Goliaths that came before us. But Kevin on the show, he loved Emily Gilmore. Emily Gilmore was his favorite. No matter what she did, there were sometimes he disagreed, but he loved Emily Gilmore. I am not an Emily. I love Emily Gilmore. I think she's a fantastic, deep, developmental character who will continue to grow. But my favorite character, without question, is Michel.
Michel is pretty great
because he's just fantastic.
Funny.
Yeah, he's awesome. So we get to the wedding at the Independence Inn, and
they're arguing over flowers
Right.
and where to put the swans.
I want pink. I want blue. I want pink. I want blue.
Mother's like, listen.
Yeah. So
I chose violet.
Right, because it was the easy thing. And they're like, nah.
If you have a problem with it, buy your own flowers.
And then they shut up.
I'm like, you tell them,
Literally, can't buy your flowers? Go away. My Advil is wearing off.
Right. It's not working anymore. I need to go more. I know that certain characters in the show, we only see them once ever in an episode, and that's it. So they're not really going to be deep, developed characters. But again, this is a nitpick. This is not oh my gosh, this episode's terrible. So the engaged newlyweds, the 2 pairs of twins, the arc that they follow it's really immediate. Like when we go through the show with them and they're doing the dancing and everything, they don't really change or really grow until the very end at the wedding reception where things are apparently fine.
Because they're moving away.
Right, because they're moving away, but I would have liked to have seen some kind of arc with those 2 because the girls were not nice to their mother. They were not nice to anybody. They were
unhappy people.
They were just unhappy people. I was just hoping for maybe they ran into Rory and had a conversation, or they saw something, or something was a part of the move of their characters in which they became better people because they realized, oh, we're being terrible. We need to let go and give up this whole fighting with our mom thing every dang day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would look like, but it's a nitpick. It's just me being, I wanted more.
Honestly, I think they had to keep them shallow because they're genuinely just a plot device.
Yeah.
They're really just there for the juxtaposition of the mothers is how I looked at it. They're not supposed to be super intelligent or have depth of any kind because they just function as a way for Lorelai to look at the mother-daughter relationship with them, the mother-daughter relationship she has with Rory,
Yeah.
and the relationship she has with her own mom.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting if you took a look. I mean, it's almost a story as much as it is about moms, but it's also about daughters. So if you if you compare the Rory to the twins to the Lorelai, there's a lot there too, because the girls are ungrateful. There's a little, and it's interesting. I think there's a little of Lorelai in those girls, and that they just fight mom all the time. Like there's no. What I mean, I guess is there. What do you? I love the Paladinos because what they write with the show and how they do the show, there's things that you don't think about until you start to actually talk about it and work into it. A lot of television today, which we've talked about ad nauseum, so I won't really go into it again, but a lot of television today and a lot of movies even lack that depth. And that, like, you start to scratch the surface and you go, wait, there's so much more here. What's this? Ooh, let's uncover this rock. Oh my gosh, what is this? And you spend 15 minutes going, this is interesting. Why is this happening? So I guess, Silvana, I will ask you, what do you think? Why is there so much depth in television in the bygone era? I don't want to say the old days because that sounds really like we're old days, but like, why is, and we've talked about it, but a little bit, but is it because of and this is going to sound totally judgmental and based, but is it because of the skill of the writers, the age of the writers, or just how the world has changed culturally, generationally? Why is it that we find all this rich depth, and even in shows like Friends and Office Space and others, that we find really great characters and great storylines that stay relevant and are not fading with time, and you can revisit them. Why is it that we have that then and we don't have it now, I guess, is my question.
Honestly, I don't think it's the quality of writers. I think it's the amount of time they're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, the shows you've mentioned all have seasons that are like 20 some episodes. Vicki and you and I talked about like Buffy last time too, like long seasons.
Yeah.
They had the time to develop the depth. Now every season is like 8 episodes, maybe 10. And I don't think it's enough time to develop that depth. So much of meaning in writing comes from the subtleties, the foreshadowing, the characters who are foils, all of those little bits. But if you condense that story into like 8 episodes at an hour long, you have to be a lot more heavy-handed. There's so much more that you have to accomplish with less time and less writing. And, you know, when I was in college and we were studying like script writing for like TVs and movies, the way the teacher, I think her name was Ms. Gorman. Did you ever have her, Aaron? Yeah. She described the way the schedule for writing on TV is like an 8-week period. Yeah. So you didn't do anything all year, and then for an 8-week period, 2 months, you were writing furiously. Yeah. And I just I don't know how sustainable that is for writing. And again, you're writing in an 8-week period for 8 episodes to put as much as you possibly can. Yeah. Without like ruining the story. So I think it's an issue of timeline. That's my.
Well, and I guess here's the question: do we think how? Because again, the world around, the environment of television and movies and all that has changed so much in 10 plus years. And it's a pendulum, because it's always been a pendulum of, okay, well, for a long time it was all about cord cutting and getting to the streaming services, and then the streaming services took over, and that's when, you know, the episode numbers dropped and everything changed because of affordability and cost and all these other things, and we don't want to work long hours and all that stuff. It's much more complicated than that, but that's my brush about that. I'm just going to paint over really quickly with that. But the question is, the state of American television has always been in flux. It's always changed. But for a long time, up until when the streaming services really started like winning awards and being a big part of our cultural kind of transmission, television remains the same. But now we're in this different world. The question is, do we see this ever correcting? And is it possible for it to go back to long-form television? Because to your point about the depth of the programs and the depth of the details and the depth of the stories, you're almost with the new format, you're looking at basically a 10-hour film. Yeah. Versus with the stuff with the previous system, there was no that'd be a 22-hour film. That's craziness, which allowed for those shorter, more contained, but also larger stories to be told in tandem and in parallel. So I guess the question is I know the answer to this question. I guess we can answer this question in sequential order. Do we think the current status of American television and the episodic format that it's currently in is good for viewers and good for story?
No, but like, I don't know that it's gonna go back. I don't know that it's not gonna go back. I mean, people are going back and using like iPods again.
Yeah.
The ones separate from the phone because they're sick of like subscriptions and stuff like that. So like, and like styles redo themselves. Everybody's all over Y2K now, which was just my childhood.
Right.
So I don't know. Is this just like something that's going to come back around when people finally realize how much we have screwed over our own like writing style and art style?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. The world could implode. It's really hard to kind of prophesize these things right now.
Well, and I think it's also hard because we're all of an age where we remember those shows. We watched them live. Like we've interacted with that world. The people who are younger than you and obviously younger than us, they don't know what that's like. I mean, yeah, they have access to The Office on streaming. Like The Office when it was on Netflix was like the most streamed consistently between it and Friends. And even now they've moved on to their networks, they're still constant because here's the thing, people go back to their comfort shows. They love watching the good shows because they were done well. It's the same thing with like MASH. If you go back and watch the old school MASH television show, it is Cheers. It's an absolute WKRP in Cincinnati. All those classic old school shows, they still stand up. They still have quality because the writing was strong and the writing was intentional. I think the danger is we're going to lose out on original stories. Now, mind you, there are original stories. I mean, there are stuff that's being produced on Apple Plus. There's stuff out there, but the thing is, it's so much. And we've talked about the glut of content that is being produced. It is overwhelming. It is, and also stuff gets canceled after a season or two because Netflix just decides not to do it, or whoever. They're like, whatever. They don't have the staying power they used to. Here's my worry: is that we aren't going to have any good stories. And you'll notice they're going to bring back Scrubs. By the way, did you hear about this?
Oh God, no! Stop! I hate that. Like, quit beating a dead horse. It's a bloody pulp. Write something new.
But
they ruin it doing that.
But
that's just my opinion.
But that's where we're at because we don't. The original stories that we want to tell, we can't tell them in a long enough time span because we only have 10 episodes or 15 episodes or whatever if you're lucky, and so those stories That's what I think's happening when these shows are getting canceled. I mean, it's a complicated mess. Shows getting canceled. There's a whole reason for it. There's multi layers to it, but a piece of it is that the creativity isn't given enough time to light and to burn, so that we can get a really good show. And that's what I think the danger is. We're going to see a lot of shows that are going to be 3 or 4 seasons. They're not going to really be long lasters. They're going to be like, oh, it was cool, it was great. People are going to be talking about it and tweeting about it, and then they're just going to fade. And I worry about the state of our American creativity in television and in movies. They're just redoing, they're revamping, they're doing all this stuff, and the revamps and the reboots very rarely work out the way they should. I mean, I know Buffy's on the block to be rebooted. They're working on it. Sarah Michelle Gellar has said she's coming back, and well, I understand. Like, I get it. It's nostalgia, and again, Gilmore Girls, to bring us back to our show, they did that with their seasons in a year, whatever. They did that with that, and it was mixed bag. So I think there's this weird thing about where we're not able to creatively. We can't imagine a new story because we're so used to the shortest stories and the shortest creativity in our brains that we're self-sabotaging ourselves. We're gonna put ourselves in the doom spiral of creativity with television and movies, where and there's a reason why Hollywood is worried about the content, because people aren't going to see movies because they don't want to. They've been seeing movies that are not good, that are preachy, that are not escapist. They're not going to them because they don't want. They're looking for the stuff that thrilled them before. They're looking for the movies that were fun blockbusters, the Independence Days, those films that just blew your mind. Do you remember Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and Will Smith?
What was it called?
Enemy of the State. It was
I never saw it.
And I stumbled upon a video clip of it a week or so ago, and I have gone back and watched some clips of that movie. Oh my gosh, it's such there's something, and we'll stop talking about this and get back to Gilmore Girls. I promise, audience, but my brain is just getting like on fire. watching that stuff, like it hits a button in your brain that you're like, this is what it's supposed to be like. This is what good stories. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Oh, why don't we have this? And it's that serotonin hit. It's just like, ooh, yeah, I like it. And you're like, I want more of this, but there's nothing. You have to go back and you have to find the old movies. I don't know. There's such good stuff, but you have to. It's all old. It's not. There's nothing new that's really exciting. Here's the thing. There's one or two. Like you're like, oh, this was a cool movie, but it's like, out of all of the movies that are produced between all of the streaming services, you got like 3 movies that are like, ooh, yeah, that was worth watching. But how do you even find it? How do you even identify where to go to watch it? Because you've got 16 million trailers coming out every single month, and you're like, okay, well, what am I supposed to watch? It's hard to keep up. Okay, I'll get off my box first for a little bit.
You like that box.
I do. It's
you come to it a lot.
Okay, so last thing before we continue, there's a movie on Apple Plus called Greyhound, and I think we watched it maybe together at some point, but it's a story of Tom Hanks, and it's it's a World War II story about a destroyer and a bunch of other destroyers that is escorting the merchant marines, or the merchants, the ships that are transporting stuff over to the UK across the ocean in the age of the wolf packs from the Germany U-boats. And it is an absolutely brilliant movie from start to finish. And
very suspenseful.
Suspenseful, but also it doesn't reveal everything. It introduces you to the characters and slowly but surely brings them into breathes life into each of them, to the point where at the end of the movie, you're just like, that was good. And I've been watching clips from that on YouTube every so often. I'm just like, man, this was such I remember this movie. There are enough movies that I've watched that I don't remember a thing about. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Good for you. I mean, I'll never go watch you again. So I don't know. It's just, there's a lot wrong with American media and American movies and American television. And my worry is we're in a death spiral, and that death spiral is going to take us to a place where it's just mindless. There's not going to be anything intelligent for us to watch.
You just need to read books.
Yeah.
Books.
Well, good luck telling people who are on. Oh my gosh, that's a whole other conversation.
Oh my gosh, we need to get off the box.
Whole nother conversation. Okay.
Sorry, internet. I've heard this soapbox. A lot.
So back to the Gilmore Girls. Stop! Back to the Independence Inn. Back on track. Mom is she is asking about because Lorelai's like, I got this figured out. She's like, okay, what about this? Mom is panicking. Mom is like, there's got to be something wrong. There's got to be a disaster to plan for. And Lorelai's like, no, I got it. It's fine. You're going to be okay.
I kind of feel like this. It's been kind of, it was a stressful week sometimes. School, like last week was really stressful, and I kind of felt like I was like, okay, hold this together, okay, grab this, okay, do this. So when Mom talked about that, I kind of was like, oh man, I've worked in that kind of situation.
Well, and I guess to swerve back into Writer's Corner, and we've talked about this a little bit, but for Silvana, how important is it when writing a show that you write a character that people, it's not that they overwhelmingly identify with, but that they actually can go, yeah, I've been in that boat, or I've felt like that. Why is that so important, especially for a television show?
It's the buy-in. It's what keeps them interested. It's that thesis at the end of your introduction paragraph that really grabs your reader and makes them actually want to read your paper. It's that first line in the book that actually makes people want to finish reading the page. So it's the buy-in. I do something called the character care test with different TV shows, and it's, do I care about this character? If they were gone from the show, would it make a single difference in how I view it? And if it's a yes or no, then it depends. But even with short characters, like that lady only shows up in one episode, but do you identify? Do you care? Yeah.
Well, you care, and you sympathize with her daughters, who are absolutely insane, and you're like, man, I hope Lorelai can help her. Like, again, you're talking about the character care test. You care, and you know that Lorelai cares enough. We've only seen this. We're only 3 episodes in, and we have a pretty good sense of Lorelai's character and who she is. And we're gonna guess that she does care enough about this lady to help her, and she does.
Yeah.
She
had a great massage.
She says, I'll send you up a massage therapist that has a striking resemblance to Antonio Banderas.
Like how similar?
And she's like, you'll be applauding, and it's just like, oh my goodness.
Just like you're my new best friend.
You're my.
Something like that.
This is my favorite place in the whole world.
That's what it is.
It's like Disney World. So then we go to golfing. And again, we get the Emily and Richard passive aggressive.
This is the only moment I like Emily in the episode when she looks at her husband and says, "You better be nice to her."
Yeah. You will be sweet to this girl, is what she says. It will mean a great deal to my happiness and yours. And there's when
Like, don't take this out on her.
Yeah, when Rory puts on the Bob Marley hat.
Oh no.
Richard,
that freaking beret.
Richard's
so ugly.
stare is like death. He's just like, what? No.
Oh, yeah.
You're not wearing it. And then Mom's like, oh, yes, she is. Because obviously Emily Gilmore bought that hat for her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to wonder.
Anybody's supposed to have better taste than that.
Well, okay. Oh, here's the thing. So, and Silvana, you or Vicki can answer this, both of you. Do you think Emily intentionally bought that gaudy hat just to poke her husband a little bit more?
Oh, that makes sense. Nothing else makes sense.
I don't think she has any awareness of like what those colors put together means. I think she just saw it and was like, my granddaughter's going golfing and we're going to show her off. So let's get something brightly colored so that everybody looks.
I'm giving,
like,
yeah.
It's Rastafarian culture that those colors come from. I don't know how in tuned Emily Gilmore is with that.
It's the most hideous hat.
Yeah. It's a fair point. I think I'm trying to give Emily more of a villain arc than she deserves at this point.
Well, she's pretty bad in this episode.
I think because I'm just like she's not like menacing mean, but she's a little edgy. She's a little like a little whatever. So Richard is actually going to try and teach and relate to her, and then so we know what happens to Sooki and Jackson. And we know that they eventually get together and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess here's a question. We're going to be swerving into writers lane a lot here. How important is it, like, to have? Because this show does it really well for comedic relief. Like, so we have these tense situations, these tense moments. Richard's in a very nonverbal argument with Emily. Like they are absolutely going at it in their heads at each other. And then you have the next moment is where you have Sooki and Jackson. Why is that comedic balance important, especially in a long-form show like this?
Oh, it's the levity that's required. Shakespeare used to do it all the time in his plays. I think I even mentioned this the first episode.
Yeah.
It was, Macbeth, and there's like a drunken gatekeeper who's just spewing nonsense.
The porter.
But he like functions as that levity to help carry things forward and to just kind of break up some of the seriousness. Part of why the show is good is because it mixes some of those harder topics, like having a child when you're 16 in a family that's really not okay with it, versus like he brought blueberries instead of strawberries because no one can have bad strawberries for strawberry shortcakes. We're gonna have blueberry shortcake, even though no one has ever tried blueberry shortcake.
You know, this actually kind of happened in our marriage one time. I was making like something and I needed blueberries, but it was the opposite. Aaron's like, well, they're out of blueberries, so I got you blackberries. It's the same thing. It actually ended up being better. It ended up going really well. But when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, it's funny that happened to us.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so Sooki is very much a perfectionist. Like she is a militaristic menace in her kitchen, and her perfectionism probably is anal. It's very OCD. It's very a lot of different neurological kind of issues probably, but she's been able to master it into her cooking and her baking and all of this stuff. It's been a way for her to cope. Unfortunately, when that cope that she's built suddenly gets upset and shifted, she goes, no, I can't have this. What are you doing? Ah! But they do it in such a way that's not like a parody or a satire of someone who's dealing with that. It just shows us that she's got her life and her world, and then a small upset makes things a little more challenging. But she's still able to keep control, and her and Jackson just go rounds over everything, and it's fantastic. Then we get to
I think it's their weird way of flirting.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think because you don't really here's the thing, Sooki keeps going after him. Like, she's not like, oh, okay, I don't want you to supply my fruit anymore. I'll get it. Because there's obviously, later in the show, in the episode, we see her find strawberries in a fruit stand at a grocery store.
Oh, that scene was so funny.
So we know she has the ability to get her supplies from elsewhere. And you have to think that if she had her druthers, she would have gone there already and been like, hey, do you have any look at your strawberries. I'm going to get those instead. But she sticks with Jackson. And I think, Silvana, to your point, I think there is that maybe conscious or subconscious. I think on Suki's part, there's a little conscious. I think she won't admit it, but she kind of fancies him.
Oh yeah, she runs after him, like apologizing as if she just cheated on him when they're just talking about
that
fruit.
scene, I was losing my mind. I was laughing so hard. They're running in between traffic. It's like the cartoon characters, literally. Have you ever seen the cartoons where they're running off into the sunset?
Yep.
It's like that.
Yep.
Only more dangerous.
Yeah, so we that's always fun. We get a lot more of Richard slowly opening up back on the golf course, and he's almost like, well, you wouldn't be interested in that, and she's like, maybe I would, and so he begins to, because she has no idea what her grandfather does for business, no idea what his job is. He could be a Secret Service agent, he could be a CIA analyst.
Silvana, you and I had this conversation once when Aaron was in the hospital. You probably never. You were just like,
I don't remember.
What do you do? Like, I don't understand.
Oh. Yeah, I did ask
and I was like, okay, let me explain.
You gave me your title, and I was like, yeah, okay. So what do you actually do?
And that there's a lot this, and that's just like, he's a senior vice president. No, he's the executive vice president of something or another. And she's like, well, what does that even mean? And that's the question of like, sometimes your title just doesn't even tell anybody what you do.
Yeah, that's fair.
100%.
And then we get the running gag of Gloria, the most odious woman alive.
Everyone thinks this about her, but you don't really have a long conversation. So who knows if it's actually true?
Yeah.
I mean, probably, but
some quicker hits. So then we're the sauna scene where Richard gets to brag on Rory. And then
the most petty men alive.
Oh, he stole my golf cart.
You should have known 43 was my number. You should write a letter to the board. I will. I was like, oh, these men make me crazy. I would have preferred to be in the room with the women, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm here for that gossip, man.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
gossip.
that's awful. Like,
Yeah.
I would have left him too. Like,
so I think there's also a lot of comparisons, kind of between like Rory's relationship, but also Richard's relationship, or even Richard's relationship with not just his wife, but also with his daughter Lorelai. He really, Rory is the softer edge of all of them, and I think that's an interesting comparison as well. As the show continues, is that she's kind of the innocent, kind of like not empty soul, but she's kind of the place where they can all kind of find a common engagement with her, and they feel like there's no previous animosity that's preventing them from being friendly with her or getting to know her. She's clean. She doesn't have any of the baggage that Lorelai might have or Emily might have. And for Richard, I think he's probably used to fighting with Emily a lot. He's probably used to fighting with his coworkers.
I think it's like golf is a safe place where he could be on his own.
Yeah. And I think that's probably why the look he gives.
I know it
because
had to be.
he didn't want to have to. He was like, no, don't send my 16-year-old granddaughter with me. That's my place. I'm safe there. I don't have to deal with anybody. And because Emily's never probably gone with him. I think she does go down the road at some point in future seasons. I think Emily might go golfing. I can't remember. We'll find out when we get there. But yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of comparisons. So the comparisons are when they're in the sauna and all those other men are like, "Oh, my granddaughter is this, and my granddaughter is this, and she's in prison. She's got tattoos. Everything's going crazy." And Richard's just sitting there going, "Huh, my granddaughter doesn't have any of those problems." Ha 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 ha.
But he's just kind of smiling to himself. He's not like rubbing on their faces.
Yeah.
I think it's a moment of like realization, though. Like he has somebody that he can brag about now, because they don't feel like they can do that with Lorelai. So now they're showing off their granddaughter. He can brag about her being in Chilton. He can brag about her 4.0 grade point average. Yep. So I think it's like him finally kind of seeing that when compared to how these other men are speaking about their granddaughters.
Well, and it's also a point of like, he probably, like in his head, he's probably just like, he doesn't have a way to stand out from that crowd. I mean, he's a successful businessman. He has a nice home. He lives in, like, he's got it all, but suddenly he has something that he can be proud of that isn't an Emily thing, or it's not something related to his job. This is something new that he can take pride in, that he gets to be a part of. And that, I think, is a beautiful thing for him, because that's it's an accidental kind of happening, but it really helps. Again, I think it changes Richard. I think this is the moment where Richard and Emily eventually also will start to shift in how they feel and how they relate to Lorelai and Rory. We're not done with conflict in this series at all. We'll be there are a lot more Friday night dinners that are rough and tough and unpleasant, but in this moment we're developing towards that result.
Yes.
And Gloria is the second reminder that Gloria is the most odious woman alive. She comes into the sauna. She's like, "Oh, we should do golf sometime. Lunch. Let's do this. Oh yeah." And as she walks,
call you.
Yeah, we'll call you. She walks away, and those two women just go, "The most odious." And there's Rory just going, "What is happening?" But then, of course, she's getting all the intel. So later at lunch, she gives all the information.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. I love it. I love that Richard Gilmore is all about the gossip. He might
Like,
be
that guy's my broker.
yeah. It's just all this innuendo and everything. It's like, and I love Rory. She says, "Well, I don't think one thing has to do with the other." And he's like, still, Richard Gilmore.
Maybe it does.
Maybe he's upset. Okay, so here's the thing: the Swan delivery. This is not Kirk yet. He's not named in this episode.
No.
So it's the second appearance of Sean Gunn, who is the brother to James Gunn, who is now the famous director of all the things. And Sean Gunn obviously starred in multiple movies and Marvel movies. But he is he's here with the one swan, not the 21 that were requested or ordered. But then we get a weird scene, and I forgot about this. Did you guys catch it about what Drella said about Michelle?
Yes, hate to hear him talk, but love to watch the walk.
Oh yeah.
So Drella likes Michelle. She's got a thing for her.
She likes to look at Michelle.
But he opens his mouth, and it's just
pure
too much.
lust. What's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was 100% with Michelle on the swan. Like I went to a college where it was a very nice campus. We had swans. They were mean. They'd see you come in, they'd start hissing at you, they'd come charge you, they were known to bite. Like, oh, they're so mean.
Yep. And I love how Michelle like jerks at the sound of a swan. Like, he's like, ugh. And so
he straight up flinches.
That was a little funny. I love it.
Well, Lorelai says this isn't. He's like this isn't funny, and then it happens, and she's like, okay, it's a little bit funny, and he's just like, Michelle's like, and he gives her a choice. She says, Drella or the swans? And he's like, one monster or the other. And
yes.
And he chooses the swans because he doesn't want to tangle with Drella. So there you go. Do we think that relationship would work?
Drella and Michelle?
They'd
kill each other. Absolutely
God,
not.
no. Yeah, nope. That's two very dominant personalities. I can't see that doing well.
That or they team up for the best like buddy cop movie of the age. Drella.
That I would watch.
I feel like they would have to. It would be like Paris and Rory. Only more tensions.
Well, or
yes.
It could be so this here. Okay, we're going a little bit off script. So what it could be is Drella she's the harp player at the inn, and Michelle is still the receptionist. But so by day, they are like acrimonious, but by night they take cases and investigate.
Oh my gosh!
And you could call it the harp player. I don't even know if you call it the harp and Michelle.
The harp and the French guy.
The French harp. Boom.
Oh, perfect.
Coming soon to the CW near you. So there.
I'm shaking my head. You can't see it, but I am.
Michelle would have to have like a catchphrase, be like, "This is not funny" or something. I don't know what he would do, but
stupid.
This is stupid. And then Trella would just play her harp, or I don't know. Oh, she would have like a weapon in her harp, like she could like pull out like a sword, or I don't know, whatever. Anyway, we're going too far down the road.
Oh my god.
The French harp is coming soon to you. Okay. Okay, so Miss Patty is teaching the dancing.
I kind of feel bad for the men.
Yeah. There's again, this is kind of like they are really, like you said to point, Silvana, they're not really.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I think we've skipped a bit because
Oh, Luke.
afterwards Rory meets her mom at Luke's, and that's where she finally gets the like, oh, like
Yeah.
I was wrong. You did
Yeah.
have a good time. You didn't hate it like I was kind of hoping you were.
Right. We get Luke. We don't get a lot of Luke in this episode, and I'm kind of sad because again, he's my second favorite character to Michelle.
He's a lot like you in some ways.
Yeah, he's my spirit animal, if you will. And so Luke is here, and he's an environmentalist, which I forgot about that because she's like, oh, I do this. He's like, oh, well, all those trees you're cutting down and whatever. And she's like, well, whatever. And he's just like, So Luke is an environmentalist. That was a new one to me. And then Lorelai comes in and orders a cheeseburger, which comes in record time. Like Luke must have this standing by for her when she shows up.
Yeah.
He has her coffee and he has her burgers.
He knows her.
Yeah, he knows her
well.
He likes her. Now Lorelai will eventually figure this out. She is starting to, but this episode is very Luke light, which is fine. But yeah, to your point, Silvana, I guess as a viewer, everything's going okay, but we also know something's got to give. Like something that we haven't had a lot of conflict recently. We've had some ups and downs and some bumps, but we haven't had a true like loggerheads moment. I guess here's the question: and again in television, why is it important that we have multiple conflict points through episodes like this? Why do we got to keep coming back to points of contention with our characters?
I mean, it's establishing that plot over the long term. Like in this episode, it's just simply talking about like Lorelai's kind of butthurt that like her daughter had more fun with her grandparents than she thought. In the overarching, it comes down to this like frustration she has throughout the seasons of like the schism between her and her parents, and the fact that it's always been her and her daughter against the world, and now her parents have like wormed their way in. So like to me, it's just all a part of the rising action. It's just giving more evidence of like what's to come as far as their relationship.
Do you think it's also a little bit about Lorelai's control of the situation and how she can?
100%.
That she has, and she's run her life since she was 16, but now all of a sudden, all that control is threatened, and she's losing. Mm-hmm. And it's not that she's controlling her daughter, but the raising of her daughter is starting to be pulled away from her. And that will continue to be a theme, obviously, throughout the series. Miss Patty does the dance. Mom and Drella says, I am not a jukebox. Mom says, here's $100. And Drella changes her tune. And she's just like, okay, you got yourself a jukebox.
I was so proud of Mom for not letting Drella boss her around.
I just love that $100 is what it took.
She's not even fazed by her.
Yeah.
Maybe because of her daughter, she's like, here's money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that works.
Okay. All right. Here we go. You ready for it? So not the show that we're writing with Michelle and Drella. Mom would be their receptionist. She would be like, I'm looking for a job. I'm retired. I need something to do on part time. They'd be like, okay, we can hire you as a receptionist. And then like the twins would like guest star on episodes in the future
when they visit from Tucson,
right? And they frustrate their mother, and their mother gets, and that's part of like the B plot conflict for Mom of trying to like get over the fact that her daughters actually do like her sometimes, and that would be a developing story throughout a season. We got a show, baby. Let's call Paramount.
Oh my word.
Anyway, we'll continue to write that show as we go.
Even.
So then Rory is looking at herself in the mirror, which I think she's trying to check herself. And then Babette. I love her.
Your favorite.
She's
been stuck under the front porch again.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your vegetable oil and a shoehorn?
Right.
Like, what?
This poor cat. Number one, it's doing this repeatedly enough that they've come up with a solution to the problem. And then number two, Babette she has not gone out and gotten her own vegetable oil and shoehorn to address this situation, because clearly she just loves to go talk to Lorelai and ask her for the shoehorn.
Honestly, that might be part of it.
Right. Maybe that's
a good excuse.
Yeah, a good excuse to go say hi to Lorelai. And then she has
to be played home. Her husband gets on the piano, and
yeah, when Maury plays, I get lost in him, and I'm just like,
he's killing me.
He's killing. It's just like, because you see him out through the window.
Which is sort of funny for me to watch because you love this character. I play the piano.
Yeah, it works. A comparison works.
Okay, so then Aaron is Babette and
Yes.
Vicky
I'm just
is
I'm
Maury.
a small Murray.
I won't talk like Babette because that would be really, really uncomfortable and rude.
But I'm gonna be thinking about this next time I'm playing piano in the
Right.
house or players because like,
Right.
is
Yep.
he just because I remember when we were like about to get engaged and you were
Yeah.
like, I've always wanted a piano in my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I'm so glad
Yeah.
I can help with this.
And we do have a piano in the house.
Yeah, we do.
We did, and we still do. Okay, so then the fight happens, where she's like, "Oh, I'll just cancel dinner and everything," and this is where you start. You already know it, but it really, and I guess Silvana or Vicki, you can speak to this. How does this change or evolve or add to how you understand Lorelai as a person, maturity wise, like
Oh, the
emotionally
stupid
wise?
bra fight.
Yeah. What do we
my
think about
word.
that?
So petty. Obviously, just getting upset and becoming irrational with it. Like,
Yeah.
she just doesn't know how to process her feelings. That's what that tells me.
And it's just like one of those moments where it becomes she's much more of like a sister than a mom.
Mm.
Because like I can't, Vicky, you know this. How many times did you argue with your sister because she stole your clothes?
Oh yeah,
Like, I used to-
we'll buy the same
I-
thing sometimes separately, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Who told you could borrow that?" And she's like, "No, I bought it." I'm like, "Wait, we live this many miles apart, and we bought the same pair of sunglasses. We'll do that all the time."
I would literally wait until my sisters went to school because, you know, I was maybe in middle school, started a little later than high school. I would sneak into their room and
Yep.
pick out that clothes that I wanted. Like it just is so much more of like a sister bickering moment almost.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot
it's
of-
like you said, it's like a petty, immature moment. Like Lorelai
Yeah.
might be like 30 years old,
Yeah,
but
the
for
sweater-
some reason
yeah.
she has these stupid, like sister-like arguments.
Yeah, but granted, like my mom, my sister, and I were close enough in sizes that we'll exchange clothing a lot. Still do.
Yeah.
So like my
Oh, I think
mom
I'd
is-
have to
Mom
pry
has
my
been like,
sister's
I
clothing out of their
stole
cold
your
dead hand.
earrings, but I made a trade, so it's okay. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes I'm like, Mom, I really like those earrings.
Yeah.
Dang it.
So they fight. Rory's mad. They go off. Rory leaves and goes to bed. She's had enough. And then next morning, of course, because we get to sleep through our struggle, and we figure it out in the morning. Sooki is terrible at advice talks, and she even says so.
Awful.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm bad at this. But Lorelai's figured it out, and she's able to identify why it is and what she's
But then at this point, Sooki is.
distracted.
Oh, it's like
Yes.
it's like a dog finding
Right?
food.
She walks across the street, nearly gets hit by a car.
Oh, that killed me. No, they took out a biker. This
Yeah.
is when I start yelling like, she's gonna kill him.
Well, and Lorelai doesn't, like, she says, are you okay? Okay, bye.
And Suki's like a dog is just one track mind, like a dog that sees a squirrel.
and I-
Nothing else matters.
I guess, Silvana, this is the question. Do you think this has happened before? And because Lorelai doesn't, she kind of says, oh, sorry, and doesn't even like, do I need to call somebody? Are you okay? She just says, okay, bye, whoosh, and is gone, leaving the biker and the bystanders just to kind of try and figure out how to help this man who got basically clobbered by Sooki.
Oh, 100%. This happens all the time. From what and then, like you said, Sooki and Jackson run down the middle of the road, arguing about her cheating on her fruit guy. You know, so like if it just is like one of those like small town caricature moments. I think it's
Yeah.
like very.
Yeah.
This happens.
Yeah. Well, and I love that they, to your point, you talked earlier, Vicki, about you loved how that scene held. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, she's running after Jackson, next scene. It was that scene went on for a while.
It was so funny.
But you heard them yelling at each other, and they were able to either mic them up or whatever.
They're running between traffic.
Yeah. I like their relationship. I like that eventually we obviously get them together. But it's just, they're so quirky. Both of them are just absolutely quirky. There's clearly a reason why these two probably need to be together, because if they were with anybody else, it would be a disaster or
Yeah.
a mess.
Oh yeah.
It is. It does make me sad because obviously in the additional seasons we got from season 7 with the 4 episodes, we didn't get a lot of Sooki. We didn't get a lot of her because Melissa McCarthy became a big star, and that just wasn't either possible or just didn't happen. It just makes me sad because we get Sooki in this series is just, I love her to death. I love her so much. Okay, then it's wedding time. Woo! Yay, wedding. What else happens here in this wedding? Okay, everyone's happy.
Well, it goes well. She finds out her daughters are going to move very, very far away.
Yep.
And then, like, the sister sledge comes on and
Yep.
she runs off. So
Yep.
this is Lorelai's moment to go
Right.
to her daughter and,
Yep.
like, apologize.
Yep. She sits down. We talk it out. They work through it. And then we get the obvious, like, sledgehammer over the head of the daughter getting schooled by grandma about how
But
she
again, I
sits.
say that was for Rory.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think Rory needs to understand, because again, we have to remember Rory is 16 years old. She's still learning who she is. She's still learning her
Yeah.
personality. She's trying to figure herself out. And so yeah, that scene is definitely and I think probably because she makes the comments like, "Thanks for not putting me in those dresses." Like she recognizes that
Yeah.
her mom tried to break the systemic pieces of the Gilmore curse
Mhm.
from her daughter, so that her daughter would not have to live the life that Lorelai lived, because Lorelai had to live in that life with those dresses and those things from her from her mom and dad, because it was probably really rough. Like those they never really got along ever, but they still made it through. And then we get back to dinner, and it's my favorite comment is the used dessert.
Yes.
No appreciation.
None.
I would have been like, yeah, give it to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll just put it in the kitchen next to my half-empty box of cheer.
It's just, oh my gosh. And then Lorelai makes a comment about like, oh well, since they closed down the crack den or whatever.
Oh, that was funny. She needs new friends.
Yeah, new friends. But Emily is just being mean here because I know
She's gloating.
Yeah, she's celebrating in the end zone. She should get her yellow flag for excessive celebration, like 10-yard, 20-yard penalty, whatever it takes. But of course, we're not playing football with Emily Gilmore. But she's, and you can, and again, Kelly Bishop. All these actors are incredible. You can see how Kelly Bishop portrays this scene is that she's got kind of that like smug little look on her face, and when she says what she's saying to Lorelai, those aren't genuine questions toned. They are toned in a way of like, I know that I'm right and you're wrong, so I'm going to make you feel it. And Lorelai is just kind of over it, and she just kind of...
She doesn't fight back. She just kind of... I think she's learned.
Yeah, well, she doesn't... She's learned for this episode.
Whether
or not she learns for future episodes, that's a whole other issue.
That's not a long-term lesson, that's
right.
for sure.
But I think to your point, Silvana, maybe, or someone's point, we talked about earlier, she realized early on that she was losing this fight in the episode in the beginning, and so this point I think she's realized she's lost. She's done. There's no way to make her mother feel bad, and there's no point in the quippy comebacks because they're not going to get her anywhere.
Yeah.
So she just sits down with her drink. What I love and what I am sad about, but I also appreciate about this final scene, is the closing shot is Lorelai alone on the couch because Richard takes Rory to Denna. Oh, I got these books. I got a first edition, and then Emily kind of just looks at Lorelai and says, "Oh, I'd love to go look at them too," and just walks away, leaving our hero character Lorelai Gilmore on the couch with her half filled drink, just kind of sitting there and having to grapple with the fact that she's alone, that there's no one there for her. And I think that's kind of an interesting close, because it's not a happy ending. It's as a viewer, and I guess to swing back into Writer's Corner, because a lot of before I ask this question, a lot of television has everything is wrapped up by the episode's end, right? So like Full House was notorious for this. Like all those episodic television shows, like everything gets solved in 45 minutes. Why do you think, and how important is it, do you think, that this show sometimes doesn't do that? Why does that matter for this show?
It's why you watch the next episode.
Yeah.
It's the pushing the plot forward, and frankly, like, art mimics life. Like, nothing in actual life is like solved and perfect at the end of the 45 minutes.
Right.
Nothing is that like perfect bow tied up. So for me, it was like, I wanted to watch the next episode, see what happened. I want to see what happens next Friday night dinner.
Right. Yeah, I think it speaks to why the show is so beloved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a happy Nig's girl, but at the end of this episode, I found myself being sad for Lorelai, of course, but thinking, this is a great show. I really like the show.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why there are not just we're small potatoes in the podcast Gilmore world, but there are multiple podcasts out there that have been done over the years about Gilmore Girls. There's a Gilmore Girls YouTube channel that puts out clips every so often.
Yeah.
They were at the Emmy Awards or the Golden Globe. They're one of the award ceremonies recently where they reconstructed the entire front of Lorelai Gilmore's house so that Lauren Graham and Alexis Bledel could do a presentation. And the words they said at the award presentation was, every fall, Gilmore Girls had the season in a death grip or a chokehold. Yeah. Because it's fall, it's Gilmore Girls. Oh my gosh.
I have one more. I do have one trivia about this. There wasn't a whole lot, but I thought this was interesting. So the book that Richard gets for Rory that she was looking for, Mencken, I guess is the name of the author.
Yeah.
So he was a vicious social critic of whom people like Emily were a favorite target.
Oh.
That's kind of ironic.
Emily's not gonna like that book.
Are you sure you want to join them? Okay.
Well, okay. So let's go even farther with that. I think that suggests that Emily's willing to sell out. Again, this is a very deep dive, but I think Emily's willing to sell out whatever issue she might have with that book. She doesn't care about the book. She cares about getting in with her daughter. She doesn't care that the book is probably anti everything that Emily Gilmore stands for. She just cares.
Just wants to be right.
Right. And it doesn't matter what it takes or what it's going to cost her to be right. She'll be right, and she will win over Lorelai every dang day that she can. I think Richard Gilmore obviously knows the book and he knows the author, so he's not disillusioned with what he's about to, what he has in his hands. But I think it speaks to Emily Gilmore. She's like, oh, I'll go look at the books. She won't go look at the books. She'll go sit in a chair in the office while Richard and Rory look at the book and go to town on it. But she's just there because she's like, oh, I get to put my finger in Lorelai's eye. Again, it's
100%.
You don't like Emily at the end of this episode. You like her sort of at the beginning, but then like you don't like her and Richard's relationship. It's a mixed bag. It's a fantastic episode. It's a classic Gilmore Girls episode. It works so well, and I liked it a lot. Any other final comments or notes before we rate this thing?
Nah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So we do it between 1 and 10. I will have to go back to the episodes and actually start a list of how we're rating, like what the episode ratings are and an average amount, so that we can do that so we don't get too far down the road. I am going to rate this. I'm going to say 9 out of 10. I got to think of what I want to do numeric thing-wise. 9 out of 10 bacon cheeseburgers.
Perfect. I say 8 out of 10 blueberry shortcake.
That was a good one.
All right, Vicki.
I'm going to go 10 out of 10 with this one. I loved this episode because, again, this is the point for me where I was like, oh, I love the show.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. I don't want to do a Sooki fruit again. I did that last time. 10 out of 10 caged wands.
We're still 12 short of what we need because it was supposed to be like 21 swans that she had ordered, and he shows up with one. Okay, so why the 8 out of 10, Silvana?
I think because I love Emily and I love the way she develops.
Yeah.
And I think in this episode, it's more of like she just reminds me of some, frankly, she reminds me of my Nona, who was very petty and very much like that. So it's more of like a personal thing. It just isn't my favorite episode because Lorelai is really immature and the tension just, I don't know, it makes me sad. So that's why it's not a perfect 10 out of 10 because it's a great episode.
Yeah.
It's written well. Everybody does a good job. It's more of just like my own personal associations that just make it not one of my favorites.
Well, and that's why I gave it a 9 out of 10 because Emily usually you can defend her. Like there's a lot of like, okay, well, this is why she's doing this. I understand her. I get it. It makes sense. This one, the end scene where she is just like poking at Lorelai, being like, ha 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 ha, I'm right, damn, I'm the winner, you're the loser. Like it just felt excessive. Now, mind you, that's it's not a criticism of the writing. Obviously, they wrote this so that you would not like Emily going out of this episode, that you would have feelings about it.
Yes.
But it's just like it trips my trigger on a little bit of excessive celebration in the end zone. I would have liked if Emily just would have been like, looked at Lorelai and just walked away and gone to read the book and hadn't said anything about the book and been like, and walked away. I would have been like, cool, that's great. But I think the fact that she had to add on, oh, I am going to go read the book too. I was like, oh, Emily Gilmore, stop being so mean. Okay, well, there we go. That is episode 3, Kill Me Now, which a lot of these characters probably were in those ones like, kill me now, why are we doing this? We will tackle, so we'll be off for a week and a half or 2 weeks or something like that. We'll be back together again to do episode 4. As we move into January of the 2026 year, we may talk about doing an episode once a week. We'll see if that works. We don't want to promise the world and then deliver on nothing. For the moment, we're still on every other week, but there may be a possibility that we start doing this every week, just to kind of get some episodes in the.
Well, and it'll be a little tricky for the next 2 weeks because.
Yeah, well, we won't do it until January. We wouldn't discuss the other every week until January because we've all got holidays and Thanksgivings and Christmases and things to happen and places to go
and a wedding
and a wedding,
which I'm getting texts about.
It's all fun. It's the greatest experience of a lifetime. Until then, my name is Aaron.
I'm Vicki.
Silvana.
And we will see you on the next Gilmore Geeks episode here on Create at Morgan. Until next time, have a good one.
Bye.
Raspberry flap of ours will be out in a moment. The kitchen is closed.